Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of WTF. I'm your host, Lena Moriarty. This week we're doing a special kind of segment because it's Easter break and no one has time for a whole segment. And want to know something else no one has time for? Gun violence. This past week, hundreds of thousands of people across the United States gathered in protest of gun violence at the first March for Our Lives, a truly moving event that has taught us the youth are growing up and their voices are ready to be heard. At the event, Emma Gonzalez, a Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School survivor, spent a good portion of her speech in silence. And by the end of it, listeners learned that that's how long it took for 17 people to be murdered by an assault rifle in her high school. Another Parkland survivor literally puked due to nerves during her speech and then kept on going. Talk about badass. So in honor of the march, this episode we are going to learn a little bit about guns and gun violence. First off, there are more than 350 million guns in circulation in the United States, approximately 113 guns for every 100 people, because that makes sense and is perfectly normal. Secondly, 1 out of every 3 homes with children have guns, because again, that is super appropriate and not dangerous or anything. Among children, 89% of unintentional shooting deaths happen in the comfort of their own home. Third, there have been 98 mass shootings in the last 35 years, with most killers acquiring their guns legally. The United States has some of the most relaxed laws on buying guns in the entire world. To buy a gun in the United States, a buyer must present their ID and fill out a form asking for their name, address, age, race, and criminal history. The seller then gives this info to the FBI and checks the buyer's information against databases, and bam, the buyer walks out with a gun. Of the 50 states, only 8 states have a waiting period to purchase a firearm. So basically, if you aren't a convicted criminal or outwardly mentally ill, you're walking out of the gun shop locked and loaded, literally. Bottom line is, guns are bad. People's lives are good. Get that? Guns that kill people equal bad, people living equals good. One more time, people over guns, lives over guns. No one needs a semi-automatic weapon, period. And to leave you all, Fox News contributor Taffy Laren wrote on Twitter over the weekend that the March for Our Lives movement was pointless because the movement was simply against something, rather than for something. It's literally called the March for Our Lives, Tony. Well, and that's it for this week's episode. See you all next week for more WTF.